football fans, and thanks for choosing MTN to wrap up your weekend. First tonight at 10, officials are piecing together a shooting in Whitefish that left one man dead and his girlfriend in custody. MTN's Tara Oster has the details.
The shooting happened in the 400 block of Colorado Avenue. Police Chief Bill Dial tells us neighbors reported hearing screams, and one neighbor heard a gunshot just after 9:30 Saturday night. According to a press release from the Whitefish Police Department, shortly thereafter, Catherine Lanigan knocked on a neighbor's door and said she had just shot her boyfriend, 42-year-old Ordine L. Engebretsen. I spoke with a couple of neighbors who declined to speak on camera. They told me they didn't actually see the incident happen, but they did hear a woman yelling. And the next thing they knew, there were a bunch of police officers around this house that you can see here behind me.
Whitefish officers responded and discovered a male lying on the floor of his residence and a female outside of the neighboring residence sitting on a porch with a weapon and obviously in some distress.
Engebretsen was pronounced dead at the scene, and Dial says he was shot multiple times with a pistol.
We're in the midst of an investigation, but it does appear there was some type of an argument, at which time Miss Lanigan told us she was attempting to defend herself and shot Ordine numerous times in the torso.
Dial says the last homicide to occur within Whitefish city limits was in 2002. In Whitefish, Tara Oster, MTN News.
Whitefish police are continuing to investigate the incident. Lanigan is being held at the Whitefish jail until the Flathead County Attorney's Office can determine if charges will be filed. Now, if you stayed inside to watch the Super Bowl, you weren't the only one. We decided to conduct a little experiment of our own today to see how the Super Bowl impacted the city. We counted the amount of vehicles going through the busy intersection before and after the game started, and at about noon today, tallied nearly 700 vehicles going through this intersection in a 15-minute period. 5 hours later, the streets were emptier and nearly half of the amount of cars went through. But it seems we weren't the only ones noticing the difference.
For Sunday night, we normally don't have that many people here, but it's just a little bit less than normal.
Clearer roadways did mean speedier deliveries. However, ZIGAN says that deliveries remained average throughout the day. Many of us were cooped inside in front of the television, but outside, spring-like weather stuck around. Let's head over to Claire in the Storm Tracker Weather Center to see what's in store for the week ahead.
Well, Jen, luckily what I have to report is that we will be seeing lots of sunshine, but here we are seeing some moisture starting to move around our area on the live Doppler system. If we zoom in, there have been some clouds moving through, a mix of snow and rain for certain parts of our area, but we will be remaining fairly dry for tonight. But the main thing people were seeing today was those winds. 24-mile-an-hour winds up in Cut Bank right now, 12 in Great Falls, but when we saw in that video just a few moments ago, there was lots of sunshine today, and luckily that will be sticking around. I'll have a complete look at your forecast, though, coming up after more news. Back to you, Jen.
All right, thanks, Claire. Now, it's hard to imagine talking about winter adventures, but tonight it's the start of our Sunday Winter Adventure series. We'll be sending out our own reporters to show you more about unique or just plain fun winter adventures in our neck of the woods. MTN's Evan Weberg starts us off with one crash course on one of winter's most iconic sports.
Now, I've only been ice skating once in my life, so for me, a winter adventure wouldn't be complete without getting back on the ice, and that's where the Helena Bighorns stepped in and decided to suit me up as a goalie.
Yeah, this is not easy. For a goalie, you have to work on everything pretty much. You know, you have to read a player's mind. Technically, you have to worry about a player in front of you, a player on the side, and it's all technical for a goalie, so it's pretty much works with balance and, you know, athleticism and speed and so on. So, I mean, that's probably the hardest thing is probably keeping up with the player and, you know, how hard they shoot. I'm ready to dominate.
All right. I feel like these players are not going to take it easy on me one bit. Oh, bring it on. Woo-hoo!
Like this, you're trying to juke you out, so you're going to want to follow the stick and the puck.
I thought I had it. Oh my goodness. Whew, that was not easy. Thanks a lot to the Helena Bighorns for making this possible, and well, that was one heck of a winter adventure. Just saying so long for now. I'm Evan Weber, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Evan, and I hate to say it, but you should probably keep your day job. The series will continue next week with an adventure with Aaron Shermley. Montana 211 has been helping those in need for the last decade, but now they're expanding their reach and trying to inform more Montanans about their mission. MTN's Claire Anderson has the story of the program giving a helping hand.
It's just an easy way for people in our community to access the resources that we have available.
The Central Montana area has more than 300 nonprofits and free services, but for those who might need the help, the hardest part can be finding it.
I think Great Falls has a lot of opportunities and people are willing to help. People just sometimes don't know or are not aware that there's help out there if they need it.
This program is a free telephone and website service that offers to help people with any sort of basic human needs assistance, from food to finances.
Oftentimes people who are in crisis or who are struggling aren't sure where to turn, and 211 keeps a database of all of the programs in our community and can refer people quickly and easily to the type of service that they may need.
With so many services, finding the right one that can help can be difficult and frustrating for those having to make numerous calls without finding the needed assistance.
We know that people get tired of making call after call after call, you know, and about the third or fourth call they're like, forget it, I'm not calling anymore. So we're trying to get to where we have all those resources here.
Jackie hopes that people will become more familiar with this service and utilize those willing to help.
Just to let people know that there's help out there if they need it, and that they don't have to be embarrassed or their pride doesn't have to get in the way, that it's there for them and that's what it's there for.
In Great Falls, Claire Anderson, MTN News.
You can find more information and the link to the 211 program website on our website. After about 3.5 weeks of fundraising, Utterback Middle School and the CONRAD community are raising thousands of dollars for an 11-year-old burned girl from a house fire nearly a month ago. So far, students at Julia Winnie's Middle School have sold nearly 400 Winning for Winnie t-shirts. The community also held a benefit dinner and auction for Julia, which raised thousands of dollars. Students and faculty came up with the Winning for Winnie to help with the finances for Julia and her family while she's receiving treatments in Salt Lake City. And they say the donations have surpassed the $30,000 mark.
We didn't expect to bring in an amount like that, so we were thrilled. And the donations that continue to come in at Stockman Bank are just overwhelming. So parents can continue to go see her and stay with her without worrying about that financial burden.
Utterback Middle School says they're about halfway through all the fundraisers they had originally planned. Dyer says they still have to count up the donations from the penny wars that they had between classrooms, and Winning for Winnie fundraisers will wrap up in the next couple of weeks with a shaved heads raffle. The Lewis and Clark County Health Department just received a grant from March of Dimes to help pregnant women stop smoking. MTN's Lindsay Gordon shows us why the county is fighting to stop the smoking during pregnancies.
A startling 19% of women in Lewis and Clark County reported smoking during pregnancy in 2011. The number is even higher for women served by the county's Women, Infant, and Children, or WIC program, at 27% smoking during pregnancy.
During pregnancy, they have a greater chance of miscarriage. There's a greater chance of premature births and low birth rate babies, and then also an increased chance of SIDS. And so there's a lot of health concerns that are related to smoking during pregnancy.
The grant will allow the county to give incentives to expectant mothers for quitting smoking by giving them free diapers for remaining tobacco-free.
And we'll use a CO monitor, and the monitor will detect whether or not the pregnant woman has been using tobacco products.
They'll also help these women with smoking cessation. And it's important for these women to stay smoke-free after their babies are born. It's not only crucial for their health, but the health of their newborn.
Secondhand smoke is very, very detrimental to the growing lungs of a newborn child. And so there are increased chances of asthma. There's definitely increased chances of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome.
For other expectant mothers looking to quit, the Montana Quit Line offers free support for smoking cessation. In Lewis and Clark County, Lindsay Gordon, MTN News.
St. Vincent de Paul is working to feed more families in need by selling some recipes. All year, the store collects donated cookbooks and brings them out for the sale in the month of February. This is the third annual event, and the organization's executive director, Dion Leithold, says all of the proceeds will go back into funding their programs and food bank. Last year, Leithold says St. Vincent de Paul's food bank gave out more than $500,000 worth of food, a cause area shoppers are anxious to support.
Every year before the sale, I go through my shelves and sort of weed out ones I haven't used or that I used less and bring them in and donate so that I have room for new ones.
Buckley donated 2 boxes of cookbooks and walked away with 2 heaping stacks of books. This year, she was looking for Montana-specific cookbooks and says she plans to come back before the sale is over for more. A new bagel cafe has opened its doors in Great Falls, making it the one and only in town. MTN's Tara Grimes found out what it took to get the eatery up and running and how family helps make it successful.
Great Falls has nothing like this, and we haven't for quite some time, many, many years. So we thought we'd give it a try, and it's been overwhelming so far.
Hundreds of customers have walked through the doors of the new bagel company each day since it opened 2 weeks ago. But it was just last September when the place was still barren inside.
Most of the construction that you see, and the flooring and the walls were all done by my husband and friends.
From the idea to the construction to the freshly made bagels, the Coasts are calling it all a family business, along with 2 in Helena.
The ones in Helena is my sister-in-law and brother-in-law. They own the ones in Helena. So it was really more my husband's idea. He knew that this would be a really good idea for Great Falls. It does amazing in Helena.
Even the Coast's 17-year-old son helps out after school.
I was pretty excited. I've always kind of wanted my parents to open up a store just so I could work with them. And it's easier to keep a job that way.
And with more than 10 types of bagels to choose from, all handmade and shipped from Helena each morning, the Coasts say they want to give residents a taste they won't forget.
Once you've been in here and tried it, the coffee or the bagel or the sandwiches, the product sells itself. We're just here to have fun.
Building a family business to provide Great Falls with a one-of-a-kind cafe. In Great Falls, Tara Grimes, MTN News.
Now, if you want to go test out that new bagel shop, you can find them on 10th Avenue South between Albertsons and Target. So they are pretty successful so far, it sounds like, too. They sound like they're pretty busy already.
I'm going to have to stop by.
Haven't been over there yet, huh?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to head out there. I mean, it was almost picnic weather this weekend. Can you believe that? Get the bagels, go outside, because it's not feeling like early February right now. Temperatures are a lot warmer and seeing some sunshine even. Here's a look at our lows for tonight. These are usually our highs, but tonight dropping down to 27 degrees in Helena, around freezing in Great Falls. Coming up, I'll have a complete look at your forecast.